Welcome, Music City kids. We are here to help you grow strong in mind, body, and heart. I'm your host, Tamara, with Love in a Big World. And today we'll be talking about courage. Courage is standing up for what is right, facing your fears. We've got all kinds of good stuff for you today. As you can see, my friends are with me. Dr. Jennifer Hutton, Dr. JPOP, Courtney Hale with Knowledge Bank, Janet Ivy with Janet's Planet, and our special guest, Jalen Walker. And hopefully joining us real soon through the technical challenges will be Roger Day of Roger Day Kids Songs and Jacob Weiss of Hand, Eye, Body. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. We're glad you're here. So just another message to kick us off. As we're talking about courage, we have been through a lot here in Nashville over the last month. We had a tornado in early March. We're still in the midst of recovery for that effort. And then, of course, all of us are living through the coronavirus pandemic, where kids and parents are now doing everything from home. So we're here to help encourage you, because this is a time when many people are battling fear. So much fear that we've even run out of toilet paper at the grocery stores. So we need to realize we can make it through this together, locking arms and moving forward together, and also with a sense of humor and fun. So that's what we're about today. So first up, we've got my friend, Dr. Jennifer Hutton, otherwise known as Dr. J-Pop. So Jennifer, it's over to you.
Hey guys. Is the music still playing? I can't.
Yes, I'm gonna try to get that out. There you go.
Awesome. All right, hi guys. As Tamara said, I am Dr. J-Pop. I am a physical therapist, and I love teaching kids how to have fun when they move and how to be safe when they move. Now, as Tamara said, we've been dealing with a lot these last couple weeks. We had the tornado in Nashville a couple weeks ago, and now we're all in our homes trying to stay healthy so that people outside of our homes can be healthy too. And I know with all of the pictures that you've probably seen and the stories that you've heard about what's going on around the world, it's probably really scary. So what we're going to learn today is how to move with courage in the face of fear. Now, one thing we need to learn is, well, how does the body decide what we are going to do? So we are going to switch on over to this screen. Okay, so you have two very important things. You've got your body, and then inside that head right there, you've got your brain. Now your brain, super important. It's like the mothership. It takes everything from your environment and it decides what you are going to do next. Now it gets all of its information from what we call our 5 senses. So what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, and what you touch, it takes all of that information and it processes it and it says, okay, this is the next step. So for example, when you see a plate of cookies, your brain says, oh my God, I love cookies. We should eat some. Or when it hears a song that you really like, it says, hey, that's our jam. We should do a little jig. So it took that information from the environment and said, hey, we're having a good time right now. We got cookies, we got a dance party going on. But sometimes there's some things that those senses detect that are dangerous. For example, if you smell smoke, your brain might say, hey, there might be a fire somewhere and we need to make sure that we're okay. So it takes that smell and it says, I think that we got to make sure that they stay safe. What should we do? And what it does is activates what we call our fight or flight system. That means it says, hey, should we stay and fight the dangerous thing or should we run away? Now, it's good because we have to stay safe, and that's why that system is in place. But the thing is, it's not the smartest part of your brain. There's another part of your brain that decides, hey, let's actually be reasonable and let's look at what's going on. So if you've heard about everything going on with the tornado and you're seeing everything going on with coronavirus, that system might start to come up and you feel a little scared. But that other part of your brain says, hey, guess what? We've got our family, we've got our homes, we're safe inside, we are okay. So when you hear scary things that make your stomach feel weird and make you a little scared and make you want to do anything but just stay inside your home, I want you to say these 3 things. I am safe, I am strong, I can move. Now, the thing is, now we got to convince the body we really are in those 3 categories. So what I want you to do is pick a fun activity that gets your juices flowing. It could be riding your bike. It could be playing with a ball. It could be doing push-ups. It could be playing Wii Fit. Anything that gets you happy and smile at, then your body, you know what? I think we're going to be okay. So anytime those scary feelings come up, remember, I want you to say, I am safe, I am strong, I can move, right? And then we're going to do that one fun thing that makes us happy. I'm excited to come back and share some fun activities with you guys later on this week. Back to you, Tamara.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Dr. J-Pop, I'm so glad that you're here. Next up, my friend, Mr. Courtney Hale of Knowledge Bank. Give him a hand.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Courtney Hale. I am the founder of Knowledge Bank. And what we do with Knowledge Bank is we teach kids about money. I am hugely excited about this week's topic related to courage. And before I jump into that, I have a special host that's going to help me with this particular episode. So, special co-host, you want to come have a seat? Say hey.
Hi, my name is Abigail Hill, and I'm 5 years old, and I'm a MusiCity kid.
All right. So Ever is going to help us talk about courage. Ever, do you know what courage is?
Courage is something that you're afraid to do.
Exactly. Courage is something that we may be afraid to do, but we do it anyway. That's the courageous part of it.
I was scared of something that I could do it, but I was riding my bike and I could do it. My mom and dad just told me get started, and they helped me with my helmet to put on, and they helped me.
Your brakes.
They helped me with my brakes, and they lifted my seat up so I could see higher.
It's it. And so the thing about courage is there are things that we can do to help build our confidence. And so the same way that people may fear riding a bike, people a lot of times fear money. They're afraid that they're going to make a bad decision with their money. And so we're going to do an activity now. It's called our Super Money Scavenger Hunt. Super Money Scavenger Hunt. And our Super Money Scavenger Hunt helps us develop the skills we need to be courageous with our money. So in order to do the Super Money Scavenger Hunt, we are going to use our Super Money Bank. And so with the scavenger hunt, each discovery results in a money lesson that helps us increase our courage. So first question on our scavenger hunt forever is how many, go for it.
How many
super
money
heroes
are
there
on the bank?
So we're going to count our super money heroes.
And they are
4, 5, 6. So there are 6 super money heroes on our bank.
On every single bank, but there's 25 total.
So with that lesson, what we learned from that is we can all be super money kids no matter where we come from. So let's do our next question. It is, which super money hero
looks like you?
Looks the most like you? So you want to look at the banks and see which hero. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right, which one?
I found it.
You want to show them?
So it's
Turn it around. Hold it up. Hold it up. Which one looks the most like you?
Right here.
All right. So our lesson that we learned from that question is always see yourself in how you manage your money. Don't be influenced by what others are doing. And then our last one is, which super money hero sometimes wears a different shirt? This guy.
Okay, so there's.
This guy wears a different shirt.
So he's both on both of these banks. So you can see on this one. What in the world am I putting? This one, he has orange and yellow pants, but you see on this purple one, he has on. Well, he kind of has on the same thing, but
it has a star on his shirt, right?
He has a star on his shirt.
So our male hero on the Save Bank wears a different shirt. And the lesson that we learned is that it's okay to be different. Our most successful leaders often had different ideas that changed the world. So hopefully those 3 lessons you learned will help you be courageous with your money. And Tamara, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Courtney and Ever. That was amazing. I'm so glad that you were here with us today, Ever, and I hope that you'll be back on Wednesday. Are you going to join us again on Wednesday? Good, good. Well, next up, we've got one of my favorite people, Miss Janet Ivy with Janet's Planet.
Hey everybody, how is it going? I am so tickled to be with you guys today. So one of the things that I want to make sure that you guys are seeing me, is everybody good there? It looks like I'm there. All right, so going to play my presentation here. One of the things that I love to encourage people about is I want you guys to think about being brave astronauts at this time, right? So astronauts are super brave. When they go into space, there are lots and lots of risks. They're actually sitting backwards in their chair. A big ball of fuel is pushing them up and giving them the thrust to go up into air. So it's a very brave thing. But I'm going to tell you today about a story and a crew of guys that were extra brave, if there is such a thing, is that this is on the very far left is Fred Hayes. In the middle there is Jack Swigert, and then Jim Lovell are there. They're the 3 Apollos, 3 astronauts of Apollo 13. Now, it's very interesting how this worked out. There was an astronaut, Ken Mattingly, who was supposed to be the command module pilot, and for whatever reason, not sure, he got exposed to German measles. Well, he hadn't had measles as a kid, so they're like, I don't think you can go. So kind of like the isolation in is like, you may not have them, but you kind of need to stay home. So, but his expertise was not lost. They just didn't want to put him in a spacesuit, be in an uncomfortable, risky environment, and then break out in measles with no way to treat him in space. But he used everything that he learned, because here's what happened, guys. I want you to get another good look. There they are in their astronaut suits, a good-looking crew of fellas, really smart, courageous fellas. And, whoops, as it lifted off, this is Apollo 13. So we had Apollo 11 that was super successful. 12, 14, 15, 16, and 17 all got to go to the moon. But just 2 days into their voyage, guess what happened? It's like something exploded. And at first, Jim Lovell actually thought that maybe Fred Hayes was pulling a trick on him. It wasn't until he looked at his face, he was like, oh, he's not playing around. And it's like what happened is one of the oxygen tanks in the command module blew. So then they had a choice. But here's where the happy accident actually happened. They kept trying to close this door and it wouldn't close. And then Jim went over there and he tried to close the door. Thank goodness they could not close the door. So we'll parallel this in a minute to what we're going through now. So maybe sometimes look like, why is this not working when there's going to be found another way? Well, pretty soon they realized there's no way we're getting to the moon. Right now, the most mission critical thing is how on earth do we get back? So then they get to and back home, everybody in mission control is like, let's think, let's super think. What can we think? Let's super think about what can we do. So I want you to realize that even though that when you listen back, the first great words they said were Houston, we have a problem, which sounds kind of like they weren't emotional about it. They were just stating fact. I probably bet they felt a bit of panic, but they stayed calm. The calm kind of things came back from mission control. We hear you, roger that, working on it, we see. But when they finally put everything that they said in those really stressful days that got those astronauts back home, there were over 1,739 pages of conversations that had gone back and forth between the astronauts and the folks in mission control. So while it took the engineers devising and improvising something really magnificent, it also took everybody on the ground. And you know who played one of the biggest roles? That's right, the guy who was exposed to German measles and couldn't go. So don't think just because he had been isolated, he was still finding his purpose and helping his friends get home. So here was the problem. So their oxygen tanks had been destroyed in the command module. That's the thing over there on the left, the CSM, Command Space Module. So that's what they were gonna come home in. Now, they can't use that because that oxygen tank blew and that actually crash landed into the moon. Now, the lunar module, which is only built for 2 people, with enough oxygen for a couple of days, now has to support 3 astronauts for 4 days, because the only way to keep this thing from burning up as it re-enters the atmosphere is that they got to take the long way around. How many of you out there right now kind of feel like we're taking the long way around, right? So they're like, okay, we'll do it. But what happened, you get 3 people in there, there's not adequate oxygen, the carbon dioxide levels start rising. But do they panic? No. Well, maybe a little, but they put their good brains to good use. They put their courage, dun, 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 I'm gonna put my astronaut courage vest on. And guess what? With the help of the folks on the ground, they figured it out. And here's a funny picture. I'm gonna show you a few things. So here's what happened. In the lunar module, they didn't have what they needed to connect this filter that would filter out the carbon dioxide. So it's kind of like putting a square peg in a round hole. So if you can see what I have right here, so this is kind of it. So it's kind of like taking this and trying to stuff this inside it. How do I do it? But they're like, we're engineers, we're smart, we can use our brains. God gave us a great brain, let's put it to good scientific use. And so this is what they actually, well, this is an approximation of what they used. They used a plastic bag that actually ripped while they were trying to repair things. They also they figured out a way to take this lithium the hydroxide thing to kind of clear that out. And then they took a hose, and everybody's magic thing, duct tape. So with a plastic bag, a hose, they got something square to fit in a round hole, and it saved the mission. Duct tape was also used on Apollo 15 to tape a crucial part of Jim Irwin's astronaut suit. It was also used on Apollo 17 when they needed to repair something on their moon buggy. So I hope you have some duct tape. So duct tape may help us survive as well. I'll show you this last picture before I go. Here's what happened. On those 4 days, when they finally had figured out how to, keep the oxygen flowing, they were cold. They rationed out every food they had. They shared it among themselves. Nobody ate more than they could. They all lost weight. Now, some people call it a failure, but most people call it a success. And while those 3 astronauts did not get to the moon, they got home safely. And so as we end this time on Janet's planet, I just want to encourage you that please, oh please, be strong, be brave, be courageous, because tough times like this require a great mind and a great creative spirit. Go be courageous. And that's the view from Janet's planet.
Thank you, Janet. I'm so thankful that you're with us today. And remember, friends, courage is standing up for what is right, facing your fears. So we will not live in fear. We will instead choose to be courageous. So we're going to make a slight switch, Music City Kids team, just because of the time. We got started a little late and we're running a little long. So we're going to go right to our next segment with our friend, Jalen. You ready, buddy?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Jalen.
Okay, well, hey guys. I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe. It's really important to stay connected, and it's really important to have conversations with everyone. So now I'll share a little about myself. I do theater, and theater is a really big part of my life. It's been a part of my life since 3rd grade, and it's really impacted my life tremendously, and I can't imagine anything without it. So yeah, now I'll go on to my story about courage. So my friend Tice. I met Tice in 2018. We were both doing a show called Winter Concert. I really like that Tice is so, like, he brings such a light into the room. If I'm feeling down or if I'm feeling sad, when he comes in, he always puts a smile on my face, and I can always count on him for that. So recently, he just did a show called Oddly Puddle, and he was the lead role in it. Oddly Puddle is a show about a kid who has mental disabilities, and it's hard for him to have a conversation, and it's hard for him to talk and share what he thinks. And it relates to Tice because Tice has Down syndrome and limited expressive verbal capacity. This makes him really sensitive to lights, loud sounds, etc. But he is determined because in theater he comes alive, and that's where he feels safe and he belongs there. It was cool that he was able to be the main character because he wasn't always included in activities. He's really brave because he had difficulty paying attention. He can't say everything he understands. He had to learn to be focused, and he stayed committed. Even though he fractured his ankle, putting him in a wheelchair, he still did the play, and he did amazing. He showed everyone that he could do it and became a role model for other kids with Down syndrome and many others. He grew in confidence, and his vocabulary increased from it. His parents are so proud of him and were blown away by his performance, and so was I. He inspired me. I mean, for one, he's an amazing actor, and I look up to him. He also helps me remember to push through challenging times like we're going through right now and be a good friend. It also shows how important it is to be intentional and including everyone. Thank you for letting me share my friend's story of courage. Back to you, Tamara.
Jalen, that's amazing. Thank you so much for letting us know about your friend Tice. And thanks for all the work that you and your friends are doing with theater here in Nashville. Music City has so much talent from the youngest to the oldest here in town. We've got music, of course, but we've also got all sorts of other work happening here in Music City. So we are Nashville strong. Next up is my friend Jacob Weiss with Hand Eye Body. Jacob, take it away.
All right, can you hear me? Yep, awesome. All right, so I was gonna share a little video, big projector demonstration of what it's like being at home all this time. You've got your siblings running around, you've got your parents probably chasing after you, but because we're all staying home, I couldn't get out to get my big rig setup, so I figured I'd have to come up with another way to visually demonstrate what it's like at your house right now, probably with everyone running around, maybe driving you crazy. And so here, I'll give a short demonstration. I've got 3 orange balls. We'll see what I can do with that. Whoa. Okay. See how fast this goes. Getting faster. All right, so that may be what it's like at home, but I want to ask you a question. When you saw me do that, raise your hand if you saw it and thought, oh, wow, but I couldn't do that, right? It's easy to see someone doing something that you haven't practiced or that haven't really tried before and instantly think, oh, I could never do that. But the thing is, right, did you see me drop and I picked it right back up? what you don't realize is everyone you see doing something that you'd want to do and maybe you're afraid to try it, they learn from the drops. You don't see all the drops that they learn from along the way. And so when you think about courage, courage isn't just being brave and doing something you know how to do. Courage is not worrying if you're scared, not worrying if you're afraid, still doing it anyways. And it's not that you have to get it perfect right away. You can try, drop, pick up, keep trying, keep dropping, keep getting a little better each time. And when you're in the moment, all it is just getting started. So what you saw with the 3-ball juggling, that's not how you start. I started when I was 10 years old, and I've been practicing ever since then. So you could get that good too, or even way better if you start now and keep practicing. So I'm going to give you an exercise that you can do with 1 ball, right? People might think, maybe you said to yourself, oh, I'm not coordinated, or maybe you thought, oh, I'm right-handed, but I can't do anything with my left hand, right? So here's an exercise. It's using the concept of proprioception. And what that means is your body's awareness of where you're moving in space. So if you were to close your eyes and touch your nose, your hand knows where to go because your brain knows where your hand is, and your brain knows where your nose is, right? So if you try that, even with your eyes closed, you can do it. So your body is coordinated in ways that you didn't even realize you could do. So here's something that you might have think is impossible, but I bet you can do it. Maybe the first try, maybe the second try, or a few more, but you can take a ball, an orange, a rolled up sock, anything you have at home, and here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna close your eyes, and while your eyes are closed, you're gonna move the ball somewhere in front of your face, and then at a random point, you'll stop. Still keep your eyes closed, and you're gonna move your other hand to line up under it, right? With proprioception, your body should guess where that hand lines up under it. You're gonna stop, drop the ball, and catch it, and then open your eyes, right? It feels pretty neat when you get it. You didn't think you could do it maybe, but if you just try it, start with 1 ball, then you can build up to different activities with 2 balls, with 3, with more. And if you're thinking, anytime you think, oh, I can't do that, well, think about what you said about the juggling with dropping and catching a ball and realize, oh, wait, I said it about that. Maybe this, something I'm afraid of that seems even bigger, I can do. So thanks again, and have a great rest of the day.
Awesome. That was so much fun. Thank you, Jacob. I need to make sure that on Wednesday I have a ball. So I can try too. So a couple things before we go. We have a special challenge for you, viewers. We want you to put courage into action, because as we've been talking about today, this is a really strange time for all of us living at home and being home for work and for school. There are some people like grandparents and other elderly folks that don't get to go out anymore or get to see us because we're trying to keep each other safe and healthy. So what we would love is if you would send us some emails that we can pass along to McKendree Village and some other senior living facilities. And we want to share the love, because our smiles and our laughter are contagious. So make sure today you call your grandparents or other elderly folks from your community that you know and pass on the love. But for those that may not have anybody reaching out to them, we want to take that on as Music City Kids. So you can email me, Tamara, Tamara, at loveinaBigWorld.org. loveinaBigWorld.org, all spelled out, and we'll pass on the mail, and our Music City team will make sure that we get that mail to folks who need that kind of encouragement. Because if you think of it, the word encouragement means to put courage in. So we want to put courage into these older folks in our world that might be feeling lonely and scared too, because we don't want to let fear keep us from enjoying life. We don't want fear to keep them from enjoying life either. And that's why we all need each other. So We're gonna play our theme song on the way out, and I've got a couple more announcements for you. We will be back with you on Wednesday at 11 a.m. and I promise we'll have some of this technical stuff figured out much better. And then Friday at 11 a.m. In the meantime, everybody's got some cool stuff going on, so connect with Dr. JPOP and Courtney Hale of Knowledge Bank, Roger Day, Janet's Planet, and Jacob Weiss with Hand-Eye Body. We've got stuff happening, and me with Love in the Big World. We've got stuff happening all week long, so you can join in. We are here to support you, kids, and families through all of this. Also, please connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and we'll just keep growing the love. We love you. You are not alone. We're in this together. We are Nashville strong. We are kids strong. We are Music City.